Always disconnect the machine from power and wait 1 full minute before you ever start work on the electrical system. The only reason we have the door open on the machine while we're unplugging it is to illustrate the point of how long power stays in the system. Again, never open the door or work on the electrical system until the machine has been unplugged for 1 full minute for risk of electrocution. After unplugging the machine, you can use a flat-bladed screwdriver to open the electrical panel door. In order to replace the on-off reverse switch, the safety off switch, the speed control, or the stack light, you'll need to remove the 4 screws associated with the cover. The electrical buttons, switches, and dials are held onto the faceplate with a mounting block. The electrical contact block can simply be removed using a small flat-headed screwdriver and prying the ears away from the block. Typically, when these electrical components fail, it's a mechanical issue associated with the buttons, switches, and speed control dials. In a normal scenario, you will not have to replace the contact block. You can simply disconnect the contact block and reuse it on the new switch. If you've replaced one of the switches or dials and it still didn't fix the problem, only then would I suggest replacing the contact block. When replacing a contact block, be careful to do it 1 wire at a time and take careful note of wire locations to ensure that wires are installed correctly. The style in which these components mount to the faceplate is all largely the same. The button inserts into the mounting base with a 1/4 twist, and 2 screws secure the mounting base to the plate. To mount the potentiometer, or speed control, simply insert it into the base and make a 1/4 turn and secure the screws on the mounting base from inside the panel. You'll need to make sure that the orientation of the potentiometer is correct for full functionality. To establish proper orientation of the speed dial, think about the safety off switch as 12 o'clock. Spin the dial indicator to 7 o'clock position and leave it there. The wires on the potentiometer need to point towards 12 o'clock as well in order to plug into the machine. After this has been established, you can spin the shaft on the potentiometer to its full counterclockwise position. With orientation established, you can insert the potentiometer shaft into the bottom of the dial. Secure the potentiometer to the mounting base with the nut. The dial is secured to the shaft of the potentiometer with 2 tiny set screws. You'll use a 1/16 hex wrench to tighten them down. The emergency stop button attaches to the mounting base with a simple 1/4 turn. The contact block simply snaps into the mounting base. The on-off reverse switch mounts in a very similar fashion. Using a 1/4 turn, snap it into the mounting base, use the 2 set screws to secure it to the faceplate, and the contact blocks snap into the base in the same way. Since there's 2 here, take note of proper wiring orientation so you don't mix up the machine. The bulb for the stack light lives in the lens. Simply give it an 1/8 turn and remove the lens from the base. To remove the bulb from the lens, give it an 1/8 turn and pop it out. We've engineered the double bucker to make replacement of the VFD very simple. The VFD arrives pre-programmed and ready to install. You'll simply need to remove the digital readout from your current machine and insert it into the new VFD. Extra wire connection blocks are included with the VFD. You can remove them and set them aside. There's no need to rewire your machine. The only thing to keep in mind is that the small jumper on the bottom of the VFD will need to remain in place. The new VFD mounts into your electrical panel with 2 screws top and bottom. There's also wires associated with these areas that you will need to re-secure to the new VFD. The rest of the wires on the machine simply plug in various locations. Make sure that they are fully seated for proper operation. Note that there are two internal breakers inside the machine. The switch needs to be in the up position with red showing for the machine to have power. The female plug that comes out of the bottom of the electrical panel is intended to be used with our new conveyor belts. You can power the conveyor belts directly from this plug. The electrical connection for the motor on the double bucker removes very simply with no tools.